Hello everyone. I'll give everyone a chance to pop on. I haven't done a live in a while and the options are quite different now. So if you see on this side, if you see the little red dot, that means you're catching me live. If you don't see the dot, that means you're catching the replay. I'll wait just a bit to allow people to find the video. This is my first Friday live, so I'm sure it'll take a few weeks to get everyone situated. It's also New Year. Whoa, can you believe it's already 2021? I felt like 2020 was really quick and then really slow at the same time. Does anyone else feel like that? I was looking at pictures throughout 2020 and I couldn't believe some of them were just in the past year. So as soon as you are logging in, hit that comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Are you here in New Mexico? Are you watching from another state? Even if you're watching the replay, write it in the chat. I'd like to see where you all are from. It's been really interesting connecting with people not in my state and learning all these new things about different places around the US and the world. So one great thing about doing more things online is you're meeting people from around the world. Hey Jason. Yeah. I know that there's a delay, so I think you're talking about 2020. I'm used to other platforms where the comments are like instant, but I know that Facebook has a huge delay between what I say and then the comments. So I wanted to just pop on here and talk about what I'm doing with Stampin' Up and kind of my journey and how it led me to where I'm at today. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Danielle D. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I decided to become a Stampin' Up demonstrator back in May of 2020. And when I joined, I just joined as a hobby demonstrator. I joined because I wanted the discount. There was way too many things that I wanted, and so becoming a demonstrator helped me get more things and be able to create more items. My entire life, though, I've been a maker. And if you've checked out my website, I did write up something last night that talks about my journey as a maker throughout time. And I'm pretty sure I was a maker ever since I could hold things in my hands. And as soon as I learned about craft stores, my family was in trouble. I would always want to go to the craft stores, and they would just sit in the car and wait for me. And then when I got old enough, they would drop me off and they would ask me to call them when I was ready, because I would just stay in there for hours. And I don't know if you all remember this, but they used to have die cuts that were already pre-cut out, and they just had like these huge displays, and so you could kind of like rifle through all of them to try and find the ones that you wanted. Now it's really cool because with Stampin' Up we have, you know, a die cut machine that makes cool shapes like this. But back then either they did have one and I didn't know about it, or they didn't, and it was more of a commercial use. And so I would go through and I would buy a bunch of the die cuts that they had pre-cut, and I think they were only like 10 cents a piece or something like that. And that's what I would use my allowance money on. Crafting wasn't always pretty, and I did talk about this on my website. I learned quite a bit, and so did my family. My grandma used to work nights, and so while she was watching me, she would take naps during the day. And one time she let me use markers to color with, and she learned very quickly that she should just leave crayons or color pencils, because she woke up and she had tattoos that I had designed all over her body. Yep. And she didn't wake up throughout that entire process. I also learned very quickly that you cannot melt candle wax in a plastic bowl. That got all over the tile in our kitchen. I also created a huge labyrinth of yarn in my room, including attaching it to the handle and to the fan and to the chairs. So when my mom went to go check up on me, she couldn't open the door because it was tied closed. Yeah, so if you have kids that are quiet and they're distracting themselves, it's probably not a good thing. So I've always been a maker. I've always been into craft supplies and office supplies. That's a whole other ball game. And when I learned about Stampin' Up, I didn't really know exactly what it was about, but my friends took me to a card class, and I learned how to make 3 projects there. And as soon as I learned how to make those projects, I fell in love. At the time, I was trying to be a scrapbooker, but I'm too much of a perfectionist. I had like a huge mess in my house and would take hours and hours and hours to make one layout, and it never turned out just right. Like, I was never happy with it. And I've always been one to take a ton of photos, and so I'd have to pick, a few photos for the one layout, and then I'd have hundreds of other pictures that I wanted to use. And so at the time, scrapbooking just wasn't for me, but card making was kind of like the next best thing, because I was able to use all those same supplies, but to make a really cute card in a short amount of time. And then I learned about 3D projects, which I think are my absolute favorite. Being able to make a cute packaging for a treat to give to someone, I think is amazing. Other than crafting, I'm a teacher. I teach 5th grade. I also really love running. That's been one of my passions, I think probably since my elementary school years. And I've been working on running a half in every single state. So if you know of any cool halves in your state, let me know. I have ran a half marathon in Florida, here in New Mexico. Hey Tammy, good to see you. I did one at the Grand Canyon. I think that one was my favorite so far. And then I was supposed to do one in San Francisco last year. I can say last year now for 2020. Can you believe it? So I was supposed to run a half in 2020 in March, and of course it got canceled. 3 weeks prior to it, that's when they kind of had the shutdown here in New Mexico, and I was hopeful that it would happen because they were like, oh, it's going to be 2-week quarantine, and I'm like, okay, should I hold out because it's 3 weeks away? And that did not work out. So I was super bummed. I had so many cool things planned. I'm a planner, so I had things booked every single day that I was there, including to go see the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I was so excited. I got really good seats for it. I got like the VIP treatment. I don't even know what that included, but I was excited for it, and then it got canceled. So hopefully by the time I do go back or go to San Francisco, Tammy, yes, I want to go. I will go to San Francisco at some point. This is the second time I haven't been able to do the Golden Gate Bridge half. The first time I got injured and I couldn't make it, and then now COVID happened. So the third time is a charm, right? They're not having it this year that I know of yet. So maybe 2022. I have to go and do that half marathon. Even if I do another California one, I have to go run the Golden Gate Bridge. That is on my list. I have to get it done. Yeah, so that's my running life. Other than running, I am super nerdy. I like anything Harry Potter or Disney or Jurassic Park, Marvel. Love it. Oh, and Lego. And as a teacher, I've been learning how to code and teach computer science. And so now computer science is becoming one of my favorite things to do now. I've been thinking about going back to school and getting a doctorate in either. I originally wanted to do computer science, but that might be a little too far away from my bachelor's and master's degrees. So I'm thinking maybe educational technologies. We'll see. I'm really interested in learning more about technology. Of course, that's where we're headed in the future. And for me, being a teacher, I really want to do my best to teach them to be ready for their future. And I know a lot of their jobs won't exist or don't exist yet. And so I want them to be prepared. So that's a little bit about me that's not related to crafting. So let's get back to Stampin' Up. So, like I said, I became a Stampin' Up demonstrator back in May, and I finally decided to actually use it as a business. So I wasn't just going to use a discount. I attended numerous classes from other demonstrators, and I started crafting a lot more, especially because I was stuck at home. There wasn't really much to do outside of the house, and I thought this would be really cool if I hosted my own classes. So that's why I'm here now. Every Friday I will be here live at 5. I won't be doing as much talking then as I'm doing now, and we'll be doing 3 different projects. It'll always be a card, a 3D project, and then a bag topper. And if you saw my promo, next Friday we're going to be using the Back on Your Feet set. I get it close to the camera. Oh, I absolutely love this set. I think it is so cute. It has this cute little turtle that's on his or her back, a giraffe, and a cute lazy sloth. I love it. I am so excited for you to see the 3 projects that we're going to work on next week. So we will be here next Friday at 5 o'clock. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. If you would like to make any purchases from Stampin' Up, I have a link on my website, or you can message me and I can direct you on how to make a purchase. Again, my website is dinodanielledesigns.com, and I also have that in the description of the video. Thank you so much for joining. Bye!